Welcome to the Asia Top 50 Women Tech Leaders Award podcast. My name is Grace Chung, the host of the award and of this podcast. Well, anecdotally, we know that there are many women technologists, and we do meet many of them in our work, but little is known about them. They do great work. They're inventing new services and solutions and addressing business challenges. So the award seeks to recognize these women and celebrate their achievements. Yeah. With me today is Siki Giunta, Executive VP and Head of Cloud Smart Offerings and Strategy at HCLTech. Welcome, Siki, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So in your opinion, what are the most significant barriers women face when it comes to career advancement?
I think, first of all, women have, since school, a little bit of a reticent approach to technology.
Mm-hmm.
There is this geek factor when you're 14 that doesn't, suit very well with the clique at school. And geek girls are not hit girls and all that. And so it starts quite early, this, relationship with technology and women in general. But I think in the last few years where, the year of social media and young women get more connected to technology, life is getting better. So the biggest thing is to see the passion in technology and how they can change their world. But the barrier is, first of all, an internal confidence and internal curiosity.
Right.
When you overcome that, then it's a lot of hard work. Sometimes we feel that we need to be more clever, that our code needs to be better, that our understanding has to be wider, than our strategic thinking is stronger. But I think it's, again, more because since we're young, we have to overcome our greatness. And that's the barriers a lot of time we created ourselves. That doesn't mean that there are bias in hiring women in technology. I think there is still the bias that a female will have a child and then will not have interest in work and everything. I think more and more corporations are getting comfortable with the fact that having a child is just a fact of life, and the women really are committed to their career, and they'll come back and they'll learn how to juggle and have a great support system. I think it's a lot about conviction that people needs to have and needs to show their convictions and their dedication to their career in technology. And then it's a lot of hard work, but I don't think that our hard work is as different as our colleague of other gender. We all have to put a hard work and passion in what we do to succeed at work.
Right. So do you think that, since as young girls, we already think about, being geeky, is not being the hit girls,
Yes.
Should we start early in the pipeline to talk to these girls, mentor them and show them that, is this what is being done in some places?
I think that's the best way. At HCLTech, for instance, especially in India, we try to get to their high school. That's the very critical time.
Right.
In United States, especially, company like Google and AWS and so on, Microsoft especially, try to be part of their schooling career. And as you know, lately, because young people are so connected to technology, some of them don't even need to go to college. They
Yes.
can go straight from their technology experience. Most of them have website at 14. They
Yeah.
can code their games. Sometimes they're even better than the kids from college. So when I talk to them, say, why don't you try work? And then while you work, you might want to go to college, and maybe what you want to study is not just pure engineering, but you want to study business. So I think the work relationship with technology is getting shorter,
Right.
for all individual, and I think in many countries is becoming a very good turn of event, because college could be daunting. It's another moment where it stops the people getting with reality. So, and I believe that this jumping from high school to working environment might be favorable for girls, because it's
So,
something else that it gets
right.
them engaged.
So gives them the confidence to move
Yes.
onward. Right, right. So you work in an ecosystem of business partners, do you does the topic of gender diversity ever come up, and do you want to see your business partners have, favorable, not favorable, having good policies on gender diversity before you choose to work with them?
I think all our ecosystem partners have a very active gender diversity, inclusions, programs. They have a very good recruiting methodology, where they give equality of resumes when they cover positions and things like that. I think this approach to working with diversity has been quite mature with our partner as well, because probably even more than other technology company have realized that if they not include one big swap of life, and it's almost 50% of the population, that reduce the manpower that they can use for their technology and for their development. So I'm very proud. I worked very closely with Google, Microsoft, and AWS, and I just came from reInvent, and they have the women forum, a lot of way to mentor and to connect, and talk about technology that can affect a diversity world. And I think but it is important to demand for it, to have clarity, to have a very clear communication. So that's important to myself as a leader, and HCLTech as a company.
So I want to pick up something you said about mentoring. Do you think what is more important, mentoring versus sponsorship, or do you think the two should work together?
In life, we have to be grateful for all the help we have.
Yes.
But on top of it, we need to learn how to ask it. And I think ask for a mentor, gain a sponsor or a coach. It is by itself and a way to develop your own inner strength.
Right.
Because a mentor is somebody which sometimes you have a higher type of relationship. A sponsor is somebody that puts their reputation in the line, to suggest you for work.
Right.
And I think a coach is more a business relationship of mentorship.
Right.
And so young female and myself, I had mentors, I had coaches, and I am very grateful I had sponsor. But the biggest thing is to be approachable, to demand the help you need, and to be very mindful of the time the other people,
Right.
put forward to the
Yeah.
success of your career.
Career. Yeah.
Sometimes, I found that some people take mentoring a little bit like a given.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it isn't.
Yeah.
Everybody has a full plate of work, a full plate of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think respecting the time that other people put forward to help each other, I think is the most important thing. But it is crucial because you can't live life by yourself, and you can't advance your career by yourself.
So you need the support of the people around
Absolutely.
you. Yeah. And it's not just your bosses, right? I think it is
No.
also your peers and your colleagues, right? And because they can help you solve problems that you face.
Peers, colleagues, your network in the industry. You have to understand where you want to go and who
Right.
could be the people could influence your path to success. That to me is extremely important. And when I get approached by a young female and says, I love you to give me directions because I would like to achieve this goal, it is much easier to provide support, and I think it's much more impactful. And it shows me that people has done research,
Right.
that they have clarity of their passions,
Right.
and they have clarity of what they want to achieve in life. I know it's not always easy to have clarity straight away,
Yeah.
but it's one step at a time. We don't require from our young female that they know exactly when in 50 years what they want to be. I didn't know myself 1 year from the other.
Yeah.
But when I found out, I latched out on that and I moved over.
Right. Okay. That's very insightful, to be able to ask, because many people just keep quiet and say that I'm trying to figure out themselves, but it doesn't always work that way. Right.
There is strength in the ability to have an humble approach to life.
Yes.
And asking is not a weakness.
Yes.
Asking is actually a strength to be able to know I need help and I would love to have somebody to help me out. So it's not a weakness, but we have to acknowledge that not everybody has the same communicative skills, the same strength,
Right.
or the same empathy. So sometimes we have to, take it out of them.
Yes.
In a more, friendly environment and things like that. Right. But the most important thing is that they have to put themselves in front of us for us to recognize, oh, I guess somebody would like some help here, and I need to find a way to, take it out of them so that I can understand how to support.
Right. From your personal experiences, how do you demonstrate the gender diversity program or policy that you want? Do you have any personal experiences coming across these kinds of issues?
So, I've been a CEO 3 times, and when you are a CEO and then work for a large corporation, there is an important, when you recruit, there has to be an important principle. And the important principle is you should hire the best skill for the for the job at hand. But you have to give equality. So many times I said, let's try to see that at least we have 2 or 3 resume, or at least to get more resume to evaluate. We will hire the best skill for the,
for the job.
But if we do not have the ability to evaluate other resume, our funnel will always be very limited. Lately in HCLTech, I was grateful to interview 3 candidates for a leadership position, and I was pleasantly surprised to have a diverse field there. In the end, we didn't hire a female leader, not because she was bad, but because there was an incredible person that it was fitting the dimension that we were hiring. That's the other thing. It isn't only about skills. It's about past experience and feeding a dimension that you need to. But if you don't have alternative, you're never going to be able to hire. So the important thing is to ask for the alternative. When you get only 3 male resume and say, I can't believe we were not able to find an alternative resume. So ask the questions is my experience. And remember, it's not because the skill of that person. Sometimes it's just personality. People have a different empathic personality, and you look at it and you go, I think this person will mesh better. Their background, their, even the thing that they love doing and watching. And so you have to not look at the skills, but you have to look at how they're going to mesh with that environment. But if I didn't have at least enough alternative of female and male, I would have been very disappointed. And I probably would have sent everybody and say, I think we need to go back to the drawing board because we do not have a clear diversity picture. And I think we might miss the opportunity to hire a very good person for the job that is actually a female. So the important thing is to ask to have a diverse set of candidates, and then pick the person that is best suited for the skill. But it's not just the skill, it's what their soft skills are like, their background, their empathic field is, because all that makes a great candidate.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Siki, for sharing your insights with us today. I think the message I'm getting is ask. Always ask, whether you want to ask for a mentor or a coach or a sponsor, or ask for a new job or what. Always ask. If you want to see a diverse field of candidates to interview, always ask. That's put up your hand and step forward, in other words.
Yes, be ready to jump to the opportunity. Great summary.
Right. Thank you very much, Siki, for your time. For those of us listening to us, please go to asiawomentech.com and listen to the podcasts on the women technologies who have inspired all of us. We would like to thank HCLTech, the presenter of the Asia Top 50 Women Tech Leaders Award. Tune in again for our conversations with technology leaders.